So Brian and I were sitting in a truck today in a parking lot eating sushi together.
While hunting, while on an ABN.
I still don't know what that means. Always be negotiating?
No, ABH.
See, you can't even keep your own acronym straight.
I can't. I make up so much stuff. I can't keep it all straight.
Yeah.
I'm just glad, like, I'm gonna edit a lot of this stuff out, but when that part where you just said, like, we were sitting in a truck eating, that is the intro.
I like it. I appreciate that over the
we're sitting in a truck eating sushi.
Charlie talking about wood. I don't know.
All right, welcome back to another episode of E = MC Bourbon. So to finish off our birthday palooza weekend, we are going to do probably the best tasting of the weekend.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm pretty safe to say this is going to be this. So what we're going to do is we're going to taste Old Carter Batch 6 bourbon versus an Old Carter single barrel we got from Westport Whiskey and Wine here in Louisville that's been aged 13 years. So the Old Carter brand is from Mark and Sherri Carter. They were doing wines out in Napa Valley, and then they came back to the Louisville area and decided that they wanted to start blending some whiskey. So what they did is they bought the Old Carter brand, brought it back. It's just kind of started here in the last few years, and they do small batch stuff. So the batch 6 here is 10 to 15-year-old bourbon. It's only a handful of barrels. A great thing about this is on the label, you get all the information. So this is bottle 1,127 of 2,497. So there's only about 3,000 bottles of this. So you're basically getting a single barrel of really high quality product.
Very high quality.
According to them.
Yeah.
We will be the decider.
Yeah, so we're not doing these side by side. We're doing these solo. So first starting with the batch 6.
The nose just.
Yeah, and I feel like that nose is wonderful.
It's a wonderful, just like rich oak nose. Comes right at you.
You get oak, you get leather, you get tobacco, you get richness, almost like, I haven't tried it yet, but just in the nose, I feel like this is going to be a very oily, syrupy bourbon that it's gonna coat your mouth. Like it
Absolutely.
just comes through on the nose.
I mean, we talked about some of those more botanical notes like the oak and the leather maybe, but I mean, there's still some caramel and sweetness, vanilla on that nose that comes through.
Yeah.
And on the palate, it's definitely very viscous. It's oily. It's going to coat your entire mouth with a vanilla, caramel, just everything you want from a traditional bourbon. It's right there.
Yeah.
And then it slowly fades away into this nice peppery, spicy finish that lingers, but it's not hitting you like a high proofer.
Yeah. And this is coming in at 106.5 proof, so not a little bit above that Bottle and Bond at 100 proof, but not as strong as some of the typical barrel strengths where they can be up 115, 120.
Right, and I've said it multiple times on our channel. That 100 to 110 range is that perfect range, at least for me. And this hits right there in the center on it. And so it is just a perfect everyday drinker. Like I'm never going to.
I don't know if I would drink this every day.
Right. Agreed. Fair enough.
Should we, I mean, be honest about the price point. So this is about 200. The single barrel is about 220.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So this is
by everyday drinker. What I'm going with is you've got to be in the mood to have a barrel proof bourbon.
Okay.
There's never going to be a day that I'm
you're
like,
not in the mood for this.
Yeah, that I'm not in the mood for this. If I'm ever like, I had a rough week, I really want to have something nice to celebrate. I know even being the first bourbon of the night, it's okay.
Yeah.
Or the only bourbon of the night.
It doesn't require a warm up,
right?
To feel like you can go here. So yeah,
I mean,
it's I want to celebrate, or I need to turn something into a celebration.
More power to you.
Yeah, if you can do this as an everyday drinker, I want to be your friend. I would say
the moocher. So speaking himself,
there it is.
Very true.
I just feel like from a when I'm looking for a classic bourbon, it's every level to perfection.
Yes.
On
That is wonderful.
my nose, my palate, my finish. It's what I'm looking for in a bourbon in every single way.
In all of it. Yeah. It's because like, and we've tasted enough bourbons, like some of them, they have the nose, but then they lack in the palate or they lack in the finish. This is just start to finish, is it?
As like these different roller coaster rides where like, okay, it's up and then it's down, or okay, it's down and then you get this ride up, and kind of different things. You don't really get that here. You just get, boom, I'm up here and I'm staying there the entire time.
It's called the plateau.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, but it plateaus at 9. Like
9.5.
It just goes
This is a
straight up to the
high
top.
elevation plateau.
Right. I would just like to say, yeah, Mark and Sherri, great job.
Well done.
And I am
well done. Thank you.
Super excited to try this single barrel coming up.
So as you continue to drink this, does anything stick out to you as you like from first sip to third, fourth, fifth sip?
Having watched a few episodes of Fred Minnick review things in pure Fred Minnick fashion, hot damn. This is amazing.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
Wow. So I mean, you can see that we've tasted the Old Carter. Actually just opened this 3 days ago, which is a little sad at this current rate. I only have about 7 days left. Fortunately,
I'll give you a week and a half.
I will cease. We'll slow down that trend. But I'm equally surprised now as I was on that first sip 2 days ago. Like, this is just wonderful. Get us back on track.
Well, hold on. We
the
have
lack
to
of
be.
love here.
I would say we have to be careful here. We're not going to rate this because if we rate this, then we don't get another sample sent to us. So it's delightful. I will look forward to the future episode where we rate this.
Yeah, where we rate the nose and the palate
and
the finish. Yeah,
and give it its due diligence and really.
Because I'm definitely not doing that right now.
Nope.
I just may lose this. I'm not sending you guys a bottle.
It fell. So I will say we can do this. We can be nice and not pick on Brian a ton. So Brian was really nice this weekend that he was here. Every distillery we went to, he took pictures of the bottles and sent texts home to his friends to see if they would like the bottles. Unfortunately, it made it look like he was super sleazy and selling everything on the secondary market to everyone.
I never thought about that. It totally looks like that, doesn't it?
He would literally, like, because we would be talking about really good bottles and everything like that, and he would go up, grab like one of the super rare bottles, hold on to it, take a picture of it, text his friends, and then walk around the distillery with it in his hand and waiting for permission to buy it, and then he would buy it. So it looks super sketchy.
I never thought about that. I totally look like that secondary market guy, didn't I?
Yes.
I don't sniff anything until you have.
Says the sushi boys.
Sushi boys.
Sushi boys.
Sushi boys.
Yep.
And what do you like about it better?
Hmm.
So we're into the single barrel now. 13 years. A little higher proof, right?
Yep.
119.6.
So
this is barrel number 73. So they released 7 or 8, I think, barrels in Kentucky, and then another 8 or 9 California this year.
And the Old Carter Batch 6 is distilled in Tennessee. The single barrel is distilled in Kentucky. But the interesting thing is, if I had to guess, having not known or read that on the back, on the nose, I almost get a little bit of the Dickel smell.
No way.
On the single barrel.
Nope. You want to pour some of your barrel 15 or one of your Pursuit series if you think that's got Dickel. Nope.
I think it does.
Nope.
Game on, sir.
So I challenged
gonna
TJ
have
to, like, I call his BS and make him.
I think all three of us do a pretty good job of that with each other, by the way. Continue.
So he's saying it has a Dickel note. if you're familiar with some of the Dickel products, Dickel Bottle and Bond, or any other thing, Dickel does a lot of sourcing. They do distilling for a lot of sourced whiskeys. So you get that sometimes a note that's distinctive of that distillery. And TJ thinks he's picking that up on this. I disagree.
And it pains me, honestly, to agree with either one of these two. But
are you educated enough to agree or disagree on this one?
I believe so. I am agreeing with you. So take it or leave it.
No, I'll take that.
Okay, there it is.
You're correct.
Yeah, no.
Are you gonna admit?
No Dickel funk.
What do you? Is that a yes or no?
I think so. It could be.
No, come
Let
on.
me see.
That's totally that has the Dickel funk.
Yeah.
And that we call it a funk. Like it's a note that's
Beam has the same thing. There's a beam note.
different.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, this doesn't have it.
Okay.
No, does not have the Dickel funk.
Maybe I'm just picking up on because the Dickel I have is an older one. Maybe it's a very oak note with some almost like seasoned wood.
Yeah, I can go with that.
That is the clear
really
winner for me.
You like that better?
I like that way better.
I mean, maybe I need a few more sips here, but the palate is a bit more sweet, a bit more fruit. I getting maybe some of that pear and apple on that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say cherries.
I felt like I got a hint of cherry in the nose.
So the first Old Carter, like we said, it goes like
I can go cherry.
you smell it,
Definitely fruit.
and then from there it just goes up to that 9 point and just stays.
Yeah.
Like for me, the single barrel goes up, like then hits the 10, then comes back to the 9, goes back up to the 10. Like there's a little ride up there.
Yeah, you definitely on the finish. I felt like get a little bit more pepper here
On the single barrel?
Yeah. No.
Maybe it's opening up a bit. So give me a second.
Oh, there's so many. There's
I feel like I get more here, and I feel like at the end, especially, you get a little. You can tell that the proof difference between the two.
I was
on
gonna
the
say,
end.
you get like on the palate. I almost want to say you're getting cherries dipped in honey.
I like it.
Well, that's a good description.
Yeah, like you're getting that, and then you're getting some spice towards the end.
Definitely.
I mean, there's more going on this one than there was on this with other there's other flavors coming together.
I mean, to me, the fruit on this is that really nice, pleasant. That we could argue on the nose, like it's marginally better. I think, without blinding them, that's a stretch for me. I'll agree with you, but I think you'd have to blind them to be sure.
Yeah.
But then definitely the fruit on the single barrel, just
On the palate.
On the palate,
Yes.
the start of the palate, and then to me the finishes are pretty comparable.
Depends on what you're looking for. I think this has a little bit more complexity to the finish.
I mean, you're just thinking. Yeah, to me, they both kind of transition into that baking spice and pepper finish.
Very good.
I guess our assessment is that
Buy either.
buy.
Assuming you're not going to get a divorce or put in the doghouse. I would be willing to get put in the doghouse to buy this.
That could be a whole new rating
Yep.
on our rating system of do I pass, do I buy, do I hunt? Is it doghouse worthy? Is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Kidney selling worthy.
Yeah. Am I looking into selling a kidney
Just
in order to
we
get
don't
this?
support that.
But
We don't?
I will say this. I am very excited that next week in the episode we're doing, which we're going to do our top 3 whiskeys we bought in 2020 and our bottom 3 whiskeys we bought in 2020.
Yeah.
I don't have to decide which of these 2 is the best. He does because they are really good. And if they were in my collection, it would be a hard call.
It's a really tough job.
But somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Mhm.
And I'll fall on that grenade.
You're glad to be that guy.
I'll be that guy. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Somebody
deciding
has
my
to.
top 3 is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah. Also, be tuned in he did get a phone call today. He gets a George T. Stag. So he is the first, and we should congratulate him, of the three of us to get a B-Tac. So that's a good deal. And the reason I'm so happy is because it means he's got to share it.
That's right.
So that's always a good day.
Bourbon, to be fair, is always better shared with friends. So
Absolutely. Which is
right.
why we do
Cheers.
this. Share
Absolutely.
with friends.
Share with friends.
first off, that George T. Stag, when I pick it up tomorrow, will be opened tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And then second, when I see you on Friday, it will be shared with friends.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be shared with friends prior to Friday, but
Absolutely.
all right.
So once again, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, tell us what you thought, everything like that, and tune in next week when we do our top 3 of the bourbons that we have personally purchased in 2020, and to be fair, the 3 misses of 2020 where we spent our money not the best way. So
sometimes we
It happens.
it does. And if you're not exploring and trying new things, what's wrong with you?
If you're not failing, you're not trying.
So see you next time.
Stay neat.
Keep drinking.